Good afternoon, YouTube. It's Thursday, December 13th. And I'm coming to you from the man cave. It's a little bit chilly in here, but it's outdoors. It's about 32 degrees and snowing slightly, so I think it's a good day to play inside. So today I thought I'd talk a little bit about some of the other outlets or media outlets that have been interested in my van in the past. As you saw by the thumbnail, most of you are probably familiar with CheapRVLiving and Bob Wells. Well, I went to the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous in Quartzsite both in 2017 and 2018. And the second year I was there, I met Bob, and he did a video tour of my van. He shot it in, well, that would have been in, I believe it was January of 2018. He didn't actually get it posted until October of 2018 because he shoots a lot of video, and at that time he was still kind of running the channel by himself. And so anyway, it's been about 4 years that video's been up, a video tour's been up, and it's had, believe it or not, 164,000 views on his website. So I'll try, if I can figure out how to do it, I'll put a link in the comments below. But if I don't do that, you can go on YouTube and go to CheapRVLiving High Top Van and scroll down, and it'll be about the fourth or fifth one down. It's the first one that's not white. And so if you want to take a look at that. Interestingly enough, they shot about, probably, I don't know, over 30 minutes worth of video. And by the time they got it edited down, they got it down to like 15 minutes, and they didn't show much of the outside. We did a pretty thorough tour of it at the time, but they didn't use it all. A lot of it ended up, as they say, on the cutting room floor. But the other one, interestingly enough, happened this past summer. Well, last spring, as you know, I'm with the Historical Society, and I work at the museum as a volunteer. And the Historical Society was contacted by a French TV show. And they wanted to do a piece on a plane crash that happened here 95 years ago that actually involved Leo the MGM lion. I'm not going to tell that story here. I'm going to do another video, I think, on that because it is kind of an interesting story. But basically, they wanted to do a piece on the plane crash involving the MGM lion. So they contacted the Historical Society. And because I have experience in my past, in my career dealing with media, the folks at the Historical Society asked me if I would handle that. So, and I was familiar with the incident and where I'd actually been at the site. However, I was in a helicopter 30 feet off the ground above it because you can't land there. So I'd actually seen the site. So on July 2nd of this year, I met with a crew from a French TV show, and it's kind of it's like an adventure series where they go all over the world and they look at stuff. And this crew consisted of two people. There was a young lady who was a producer, and then there was the cameraman. And they were both probably, I don't know, in their 30s, and spoke reasonably good English. And they were in this country for 14 days to shoot a bunch of stories. And it turned out I was the last story that they were going to shoot. Well, the location where the plane crash occurred is actually a pretty long day's hike from the closest road. It's in a wilderness area. And so, they wanted to go there. And I said, no, I don't, you don't have time to do that. So I took them to a place where you can kind of see, a high spot where you can kind of see over in that direction. And we shot a little story about the plane crash. But in the process, it turned out that this lady producer is a big fan of van life. And I was driving my van at the time. And so she wanted to see it, so I showed it to her. So she goes off on the phone and calls her bosses, and talking machine gun French, I couldn't understand enough about what they were saying. I speak very, very little foreign languages, but anyway, and then she came back and she said she got permission from her bosses to shoot a segment on another story and shoot a story on my van. So we spent the majority of an afternoon doing an internal tour, external tour. The camera guy was phenomenal. They actually put a drone up and had me drive down the road with the drone following me. And the first time the drone got lost and we had to do it over, that was kind of funny. He thought he was going to lose his drone there for a minute. But anyway, so they after they interviewed me, they told me that the whole story would be dubbed in French because I obviously don't speak French. But anyway, so somewhere along the line, and they said it was going to be toward the end of this year, there's going to be a story on French TV of a tour of my van and talking about van life in America. And so, folks, that's going to be my 15 seconds of fame or something. And I thought it was a lot of fun. They were very, very nice people. You could tell they'd been on the road for a few days, and when they got done with my tour, they drove down to Phoenix, and they were going to try to get a motel room and catch a few hours sleep, and then they were due to catch a early morning flight back to France. They were going back to France on the red eye, and so thought that would be a funny story to share with y'all. And I think for now I'll probably wrap it up. I got a couple other things kicking around in my head. I don't know if I'll do any more videos today or not. But as always, take care of each other, love each other. It's a beautiful day, even though it is snowing outside. And we'll talk to you again. But for now, I'll just say peace out.